Binge.
Hey everyone, welcome back for a brand new video about the End of the World show that's finally coming back with 6 brand new episodes, The Walking Dead. Warning, beyond this point there are spoilers for people who are not up to date in AMC's The Walking Dead TV series as well as the comics. In this video, we're going to give you our binge breakdown of the brand new full-length trailer for The Walking Dead Season 10C that was just released. We're also going to do a quick breakdown of the Maggie narrated teaser about a bad man released last week, along with the most recent 3 table reads that have been dropped during our long wait for fresh Walking Dead material.
Let me in.
Finally, we're going to talk about an update regarding when Season 11 might begin filming, but first let's take a look at this trailer. The opening shot picks up right where we left off in the Season 10B finale. Team Eugene is surrendering while we hear a cold, unfamiliar voice, most likely Lance from the Commonwealth, demanding information.
Let's start with your name. Where are you from?
As we hear this dialogue, we see on screen that Princess is pinned down on the ground and Yumiko tries to get away but gets roughed up pretty good by the stormtroopers. Whoever it is asking questions is probably commanding the stormtroopers, and he wants to know where the group was when the fall happened. Is that what we're calling it now? What would these guys call 2020? The next moment shows us Daryl in stealth mode running towards a cabin. Who's here? Is this where Negan is staying? Or could this be during Daryl's self-imposed exile after Rick went bang? The following shot is one we've seen before, and we still can't tell if that's friend, foe, or walker behind Daryl, but at least we're going to find out by the end of February. After that, we get a cool POV shot and see the newest dynamic duo of Aaron and Father Gabriel fighting off even more walkers. Gabe really does have his game face on here. The next shot shows us Ezekiel's deranged face, and it makes us wonder what the hell is going on with the Commonwealth. The trailer then cuts to a rando walker in the woods, and then back to Aaron narrowly avoiding a touchy-feely walker breaking out of some storefront. Following that, we get Daryl and Carol going on a bike ride, and neither of them looks super happy. But when are either of them really super happy for more than an hour or two? The next shot feels like a throwback to the beginning of the apocalypse, but that does seem to be present-day Preacher Gabe. The question here is, were these formerly living people trying to signal the CRM helicopter community recently, or are they remnants of the fall? As we see Carol lurking through a dark hallway with a flashlight, her dialogue comes to an ominous conclusion.
We both know this world. The dead. It's gonna catch up to us eventually.
What do you think? Are all the survivors pretty much doomed for their sins? After that, we get a shot of some twin blades in the hands of we're not sure who. By the fingerless gloves, we're pretty sure it's not Elijah, but this person is walking through the woods, blades out, so are they hunting the survivors? The following shot supports that theory as Elijah seems to be checking out his 6, possibly looking for whoever is trying to hunt the group. The trailer then cuts to what appears to be a flashback moment from the post-Rick time jump. Who is this woman with the shotty? Does Daryl have a side chick we don't know about? After that, the action cuts to Aaron looking into a car occupied by a gruesome walker, while Gabe gives his goth take on life in some lines we've heard in the table read for that episode. The next shot is very intriguing as a tough-looking guy goes to take the bag off the head of his prisoner while someone else walks up behind him with a cooler for God knows what. Organ harvesting? We'll talk more about this shot later. As we see Gabe deliver his line about evil people, we really are starting to think that Gabe's a goner. What do you think? Can the holy man weasel his way out of yet another deadly scenario? Does he even want to anymore? After that, the trailer cuts to Daryl wrestling someone who's so dirty they're most likely a whisperer or even a walker, but impossible to tell who he's struggling with. Following that, we see some kind of explosion near Maggie as she covers her ears. Was this a planned blast, or have they been attacked? Or is this just a flashback? As the voiceover countdown climaxes, we see Robert Patrick looking like a beat-up, war-torn Terminator with some kind of gun threatening to shoot someone. He clearly isn't a friendly. The way it's edited, for some reason, Aaron appears to be being coerced into shooting himself. Is this to save Father Gabriel? Or something even darker? Could Arnold Schwarzenegger come in and save the day? After the trailer cuts to black, the train car door opens with Princess and a stormtrooper inside, and we're given deja vu of Terminus all over again. Eugene, Yumiko, and Ezekiel are all black-bagged by their captors. Could Princess be an agent of the Commonwealth sent to scout the survivors and assess them the way Aaron did to the group before they were welcomed into Alexandria? Paired with the fact that Princess somehow managed to escape and move freely tells us that maybe this is a surprise story twist and departure from the comics. As Princess ends up in a romantic relationship with the head of the Stormtroopers, it's possible that this may end up coming true. What do you think? Is there more to Princess than meets the eye? The next shot shows an early apocalypse Negan with snowboarder goggles on, struggling with an easy walker. He doesn't seem to know what to do before Lucille puts a new hole in their visitor's head. This is definitely a departure from the comic books, and we hope we get to see Lucille do some more badass stuff before she inevitably kicks the bucket. As you can see, she has her chemotherapy treatment IV with her, so this is clearly some point into her fight with cancer. Lucille seems cold and calculating here, and we're really excited to see how the real-life husband and wife used their chemistry in the Walking Dead universe. After that, we see Carol tearing an opening into what is probably a wall. Is she looking for one of her stashes? The following shot shows Daryl howling like a werewolf, and by the poncho-looking garment he's wearing, this appears to be during the Rick hunt as well. Maybe he just got Rickrolled. The trailer then cuts to Maggie in some kind of war zone. Are these flashback shots of what Maggie went through or a new threat? The description for the premiere episode talks about Maggie's past catching up to her. Is this person with knives coming after her with explosives and all kinds of madness? During this traumatic-looking shot, we hear Maggie talking about Herschel asking how his daddy died.
He asked how his daddy died. I told him that a bad man killed him.
Then that tells us this is going to be during the premiere when Maggie finds out the story of Negan and confronts him. The following shot shows Herschel sleeping, and it's hard to tell from the hand who that is. What do you think? Who does that hand belong to? After that, the trailer cuts to Lucille Jr. being born, and we wonder if Negan will ever get that bat back. As the trailer cuts to Maggie explaining what she told her son, the action quickly cuts to a burning house where we see Negan emerge. Did he give Lucille a Viking funeral before leaving? The next shot shows a definitely younger looking Negan with a nice sized gun at the bar we saw in this earlier shot as Maggie continues her narration. That leads us to believe that maybe this guy in the background is Negan, or even the guy with the bag over his head is Negan, and he comes back later looking for revenge. After that, we see a shot of Daryl and then Maggie. The shots are edited to appear like they are meeting up, but it's tough to say for sure. The trailer then cuts to Daryl and a second person who appears to be Maggie about to unload some heavy shit. The entire sequence is edited to look like Maggie is telling Daryl the story of Negan, Herschel, and Glenn's death, but again, anything is possible. After a title card splashes in with the premiere date, the trailer cuts back to Negan giving a speech about little pigs. Could this be a foreshadowing of his own death? Now that the series is entering its endgame, anything could happen, and the fact that the Here's Negan episode is the season 10C finale tells us that there probably will be some major death. And no, flashback deaths don't really count. What do you think? Is Negan a goner? Are they sending him out with his wife for a huge going away party? We should know either way by the beginning of April. Now let's look at this Batman teaser. All it basically is the Negan part of the trailer we just watched with the addition of these two shots. This one from the bar shows him making a stylish entrance with a baby Lucille, and this one is probably from the fire in the house. Both shots look cool, but don't tell us anything new about the story. The table reads for each episode was a nice touch and way to promote this added installment to Season 10, and we now have edited reads for all 6 episodes. We already covered the first 3 in our last Walking Dead video, and now we're going to give you the main bullet points of the final 3. The first episode we're going to cover is episode 18, Find Me, and it covers an adventure between Daryl and Carol, as well as Daryl's side of the post-Rick story. The episode starts with Ezekiel narrating for effect as Carol approaches Daryl before he goes off on an expedition. Carol mentions Jerry taking charge more lately. Do we get to see that? Here, Daryl kind of gives her the cold shoulder as she tries to convince her bestie why she should be allowed to come with him. You can hear the coldness in his voice. He is definitely not over anything that went down just yet. After a passage of time, the read cuts back to the two in the woods where Carol waxes poetically about all the destruction that was caused during her blood feud with Alpha. She feels like even Alexandria is dying, and with the series ending, maybe she's right. After we get a behind-the-scenes photo with Dog that we're super excited about, Carol gives another depressing speech and leaves Daryl alone in the woods. What the fuck, Carol? After a new scene starts, Daryl ends up going to a cabin chasing after some walkers. As he is in the middle of killing some of those walkers, he meets Leah, the woman from this shot here played by actress Lynn Collins. What do you think? Who is Leah? She could be a significant part of Daryl's story. Maybe he didn't spend all those years alone after all. Could he have gotten in with some other community as well that we don't know about that's not even from the comics? The next table read we want to cover is for Diverged, the new penultimate episode of Season 10. The description of this episode tells us that Daryl and Carol are split up and their friendship is being put through a huge test. Gee, how could this end? Newsflash, if you want us to worry about the friendship of two characters, don't announce a spin-off featuring those two characters. As Ezekiel narrates again, it's clear that Daryl and Carol are on pretty bad terms. Carol brings up a new mouth to feed, but we're not sure what that means. Is this an animal or another survivor? The two then part ways and the whole scene is super awkward. We do have to give these two credit. It's extra awk here.
You want to ride back? My bike's not too much further.
I'm good.
So, hey.
You don't have to apologize. I'm good. Really.
I was just gonna wish you luck.
After their goodbye, the read cuts to the moment when the two rejoin and they both look like hell, but we don't know what happened to them as the read and episode end. However, we, the viewers, most likely will see whatever hell the both of them went through before that moment while we watch the actual episode, so it's probably not as much of a cliffhanger as it seems here. The final read is for the Here's Negan episode. Eugene reads the narration for this one, and we see that Negan will also have some moments in a cabin. How many cabins are in this damn show? As Negan gets drunk in present day, he reminisces on his days as the leader of the Saviors, but in a sad, pathetic, peaked in high school kind of way. After that, the read cuts to Negan taking care of his wife with chemotherapy drugs. In this story, it appears that Lucille survives through the beginning of the apocalypse, a departure from the source material, which we think will really help shape the episode. Lucille becomes a real character instead of a plot device that drives Negan, which we think is an amazing addition to this series. Through the rest of the scene, we see Lucille having to push Negan just to kill a walker that is bothering them, and it really gives his character so much more depth. He wasn't always like the psycho we first met. How he got there is maybe even more interesting than what he became. The big question still is, will Negan make it to Season 11? Finally, we want to talk about an update we read regarding the filming of Season 11. This Georgia local news website reported that a location manager from the series stated Season 11 would hopefully start filming in February, which is great news. The second corroborating piece of evidence for the commencement of filming so early was this photo posted by Georgia Tour Company, clearly showing the Alexandria windmill blades are back on, which means it's game on, and the February start date is looking like a reality. For some perspective, Season 9 started filming the last day of April and was airing by the first week of October. So even if Season 11 doesn't start until March or the beginning of April, and even if they're delayed a fair amount by COVID restrictions, which they are now used to after 6 episodes of filming through some of the hardest parts of the pandemic, they should still have plenty of time to get us a premiere by the end of October, hopefully the latest. Either way, we just hope these last 24 episodes are done right and tie up all the loose ends the story has left along the way. Where are all the Heath fans at? Thanks so much for watching our videos, everybody. As always, we're on the lookout for any new promos or insider info to help prove or disprove all the rumors out there about the show that spawned a universe full of zombies, The Walking Dead. Please let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Binge Rampage. Click that notifications bell for our channel so you can see our next video as soon as it comes out. And don't forget to subscribe.
Please kill me.
Why?
You have to just do it.
You tell me why! Tell me! Why should I?
So I can be with my wife. So I can be with Lucille.